Welcome, everyone, and those that are listening later. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or social media. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join. On behalf of Tavola Group, I'm excited to have you here to listen to the live session. I'm joined by these three ladies to explore the power of private banking and tax-efficient wealth lending. High net worth individuals, real estate investors, and business owners face unique financial decisions. And today we'll dive into various strategies that can help you unlock the full potential of private banking, specialized lending, and tax smart wealth management. My name is Matt Schumacher, and I'm the Director of Tax Planning here at Tavola Group. I'll be hosting today's session, and I'm thrilled to be joined by our guest speakers from U.S. Bank Private Wealth Management, Jenifer Raby, Adrienne DiGiorgio, and Andrea Younghouse. In this session, we'll cover how to access customized cash management and special financing solutions, leverage private wealth lending, including home equity and liquid asset secured options, take advantage of relationship-based mortgage benefits and specialized lending for jumbo or construction loans, and much more. Real quick disclaimer before we dive in, Tavola and its employees do not provide legal or investment advice. Today's session is for educational purposes only. Please consult with your own advisors before making any financial decisions. So a little bit about Tavola Group. Our name reflects our philosophy. In Italian, Tavola means table, and that's exactly how we approach wealth planning, by sitting alongside our clients during the financial conversations that matter most. By combining tax strategy, proactive guidance, and integrated planning, we help clients make smarter, more confident decisions, ensuring every financial move supports long-term growth. Tax planning isn't just filing one time a year. It's about making informed decisions now that can save money, reduce risk, and strengthen your business. Smart year-end planning can help you capture more savings through tailored deductions and strategies, lower the risk of audits or penalties, improve cash flows by timing expenses and income strategically, support long-term business objectives, preserve and grow wealth in tax-efficient manner. In short, it's about keeping more of what you've earned today while setting yourself up financially for success tomorrow. Now, I'm thrilled to introduce our panel today. We'll start with Jenifer Raby. She's a seasoned private wealth advisor partner based in Nashville, bringing over 20 years of financial and industry experience. She resides in Thompson Station with her husband, 2 daughters, and their dog, Zoe. Jenifer is passionate about building meaningful relationships and creating personalized wealth strategies that reflect her clients' goals and values. Adrienne DiGiorgio brings over 39 years of experience in wealth management. She specializes in strategies for high and ultra high net worth families, focusing in investment efficiencies, portfolio construction, tax mitigation, and multi-generational wealth transfer. Adrienne is committed to delivering exceptional service and tailored solutions that help clients achieve both short and long-term goals. Andrea Younghouse is a dedicated private banker, providing personalized service for personal and business financial needs. Since starting her career in 2018, Andrea has built a reputation for crafting custom strategies and exceptional client care. She resides in downtown Nashville and enjoys traveling, exploring new restaurants, golfing, and spending time with her fiance and their new puppy, Boots. I'll now hand it over to these ladies to guide you through today's insights on private banking and tax-efficient wealth strategies.
Thank you so much, Matt. My name is Jenifer Raby, and I just want to start off by thanking the Tavola Group for allowing us to be a part of this great webinar. First and foremost, I want to talk to you a little bit about private wealth management and what we do. We are a team based out of Nashville, Tennessee. We work with clients in a space of $3 to $75 million. This allows us to work with a team of experienced individuals in our office who are really able to not only cater to the client, but come up with customized approach and plans for the clients that we work with. We realize that nothing is cookie cutter, and the type of client that we work with is so many different. So really, with the team that you have here in Nashville, you have a quarterback of the team, which would be the private wealth advisor. That is what I do on the team here in Nashville. I would be your single point of contact. So you really don't have to remember everybody who works on the team, but there is one person who you can connect with on a regular basis. So as we kind of covered, single point of contact, really important that a client knows who to reach out to directly for anything that they need in their process. But I would say we take a team-based approach in everything that we do. So not only are you working with the private wealth advisor, but you're working with a private banker, you're working with a wealth strategist, portfolio manager. We have so many different people on our team, and really the idea is that with the one single point of contact, you're able to communicate what your goals are, needs are, and I'm able to bring in the teammates that are necessary to help you execute on that. So with our team-based approach, we have someone, like I mentioned, Adrienne DiGiorgio, who's on the line with us today. She helps with our planning. We have a portfolio manager, AJ Kalegas, on our team. He helps with the investments. Wealth strategist who can help with trusts, and then our private banker, Andrea, who can help with banking. Really, because we deal with clients all over, this is just a really convenient, easy way for clients to be able to connect with their banking team. And we can do this remotely, we can do it face-to-face, however it works for our clients, but it really offers convenience to everyone that we're working with. Really, when we think about our approach to investment management, it's really important to know that in the private wealth space, we can't use a plug and play sort of approach. We have to make sure that everything we do in portfolio construction is customizable. Everybody's financial situation is different, and we need to make sure that our portfolio managers are able to work with the team that they have behind them to put together a beautifully crafted portfolio for the client. So when we talk about that, we can consider asset allocation, we consider the investment vehicle selection that you have. Really, it's so important that everything that we do too is hand in hand with our planner. So we don't like to just guide clients into what we think is best for them. We really want to understand goals, objectives, what the client's short-term goals are, long-term goals, and put together a plan that really works well with the client. And so the portfolio manager is able to work with our planner to kind of come up with the best plan for that client.
So as Matt said, I'm Andrea Younghouse. I'm the private banker on the team here in Nashville. And a little bit about private banking. Our platform covers everything from cash management to the debt side of the balance sheet. We offer customized credit options tailored to our clients' specific needs. And we also provide relationship checking, savings, and money market programs that will always include competitive rates and easy to access online banking. And along with having a private wealth advisor, that one contact to go to, we do have 24/7 concierge service. So there's always someone for our clients to get in touch with. So we're basically a boutique bank within the bank. Our white glove service model and team approach is really built to help, set our clients up for success. Our reserve money market account, that is for private wealth clients. The key features of that, would be that we have a tiered interest rate based off of the daily balances, which I've included on this slide. So right now we do have a promo rate of 3.8 APY. And that obviously changes, as the Fed continues to cut. But for now, it's a very competitive rate, and no monthly maintenance fees are included with those types of accounts, and no minimum balance requirements. There's always hands-on monitoring from your private wealth team, and always convenient ways to access your money. So we offer several different lending solutions for our clients, and one of those being a HELOC. So homeowners often turn to a home equity line of credit when they want to establish a line of credit for easy access to cash for current or future expenses. So our home equity lines of credit are secured by real estate, including primary residence or second home, but not investment properties. And our loan to values that we're able to offer are based off of the market value of the home. And we typically book interest only lines with a 10-year draw and a 20-year repayment period, but it's a great option for our clients. So another really great option that we always try to provide to our clients are liquid asset secured lines of credit. So these are secured by eligible assets held in one or more of their investment accounts and or cash accounts. So it just allows for, financial flexibility and immediate access to liquidity, if and when those needs do come up. It also minimizes portfolio disruption and limits taxable capital gains, which is huge. So these are, very simple applications, and they're just nice to have in case, something does come up and you need quick access to liquidity instead of, disrupting your working portfolio.
So benefits of private wealth management for your mortgage needs. We work with specific mortgage loan officers that are able to assist clients from the beginning to the end in the process of a mortgage. So, really our mortgage services are designed to combine not only our expertise, speed, and personalization. Really, our private bankers, our private wealth advisors are a part of this process as well. So you're not having to continue to explain your situation to somebody new every week. It's the same team from start to finish. You really have direct access to dedicated experts, which is nice. It eliminates, long waits or phone calls to different people. And then we also look at, which is a great benefit, is our relationship-based pricing. This allows us to be able to offer additional discounts to our clients who have their deposit relationship and investment relationships with us. This is a great way for us to thank them for their business and be able to be competitive in the rates that we offer to our ultra high net worth clients. We also have concierge service that really just ensures that every step of the process from start to finish is seamless, and we're always very responsive.
I did get a few questions, and I just want to read through these really quick and see if we can address them. So 2 questions are sort of related around qualifications around the $3 million asset level. Is that the minimum for these services? Are there tiers to get into some of these services? How does this differ from working from traditional lenders or a big bank mortgage desk?
So our space is traditionally a net worth of starting at 3 million and having a footprint of about $500,000 with our team. However, there are always, situations where if someone's coming into a liquidity event soon, where we can make exceptions to that, and also family members. We build the relationship around the family. So if there's an individual who has second generation, they may not be worth 3 million yet, but we can give them the relationship discount because their family is part of our group. But I don't know if you want to add on to anything.
Yeah, I think it's important to know, and the reason why I think what sets US Bank apart in our private wealth management from a lot of other competitors is the fact that in private wealth, yes, our footprint requires only $500,000 to start and be a part of the private wealth team here. But with the $3 to $75 million space, we're really able to take the clients in knowing that, maybe not every situation a client steps in front of us and says, hey, here's my entire portfolio. Go ahead and manage this money for me. We understand that we need time to deepen a relationship and build a connection with the client. So we do offer the ability to start working with our private wealth team with starting at $500,000. If that means in an investment account with us or a deposit account, it does allow us time and the opportunity to build those relationships out and get them comfortable with our team and the services that we have to offer.
Gotcha. And then one follow-up question for this section is, how quickly can someone typically get a pre-approved while working with PWM, so private wealth?
I'm assuming on a mortgage.
I'm going to make that assumption, yeah.
Yeah, we do have a quick turnaround. Obviously, it depends on the complexity of the deal. But I mean, that is kind of what we pride ourselves in, is that we do have quick pre-approval. I am not a mortgage banker. I'm on the private banking side, and I work closely with our mortgage bankers. So they'd be able to answer that probably a little better. But I do know that we pride ourselves in that quick turnaround for pre-approvals.
I have a few more questions, but we can save those for the end.
I think I'll just kind of finish touching on the portfolio lending. So When you look at doing a mortgage with a private wealth space, we actually have private bankers who sponsor the loan. So who actually take ownership of the loan from the start of the loan to the end. And then really when we look at portfolioing a loan, it stays on our books. So you won't have to worry about, and I think in a lot of cases this happens to a lot of us, is you start your loan process, everything closes, and you're with X bank or you know, whoever you started the process with, and then 2 months later you get a notification in the mail that your loan is now moved to a new company or bank or whoever they sold it to. That's not something that you're going to see happen with the private wealth management. We portfolio our loans, so you will always remain with us. So I think that's something that's important to mention. And then, like Andrea said, in private wealth management, we work with so many different types of clients. So the complexity with financing is different with everyone. And I think one of the things in working with private wealth management that's important to say is with every loan that we look at and that we review, we sit on a call with the team, the underwriters, to review everything with this loan before we give you the commitment if it looks like it's going to work or not. So this is something that we want to make sure we understand from start to finish. So we're not dragging you along this process and then a week later we say, unfortunately, you know, this isn't going to work for us. So I think it's important to know that in private wealth, you do get that personalized service. And we're all working to make, you know, to make everything work in the timeline that you have.
It looks like we have a few real estate investors on the call because I got 2 duplicate questions. I'm just going to read this to you. I have multiple investment properties and some income from a business. Can portfolio lending help me get a bigger loan than a standard mortgage?
So I'm going to talk about that sort of on the next slide. We do or one of the next slides, we do underwrite to cash flow rather than just income, and also liquidity. So that does tend to help business owners and investors. So yes, there is sometimes, you know, a limit on, you know, how many investment properties one has. And I know that's changing, so I don't want to give wrong information. But as far as underwriting goes, yes, portfolio lending would help. So kind of, you know, still going off of our mortgage conversation, one of our best products here is our relationship-based pricing on mortgages. This is a discount that we offer to our clients and prospects in return for new assets, either investments or deposits. So as you can see on the presentation, we can offer relationship-based pricing discounts up to 5/8 off of the standard rate, which can make a significant difference on, you know, your monthly mortgage payment. So it's a pretty great, you know, offer that we have. So yeah, just to generalize it, we offer really great products in the luxury real estate space, you know, such as jumbo mortgages, construction to perm loans, and lot loans. We can do lot loan financing up to 10 million, which is ideal for buyers, you know, planning to build custom homes in the near future. And then also we're really great at construction to perm lending. It's a one-time close loan that covers both land acquisition and construction. And it's really great in that it simplifies the process with, you know, one set of closing costs and a locked-in rate. And then we also, one of my favorite things to talk about is that we also lend based off of the future appraised value, not the cost of the construction, which can make a huge difference. And then, yeah, some other benefits to partnering with private wealth management are custom underwriting and lending solutions for complex balance sheets. So kind of what I was talking about. It's not a one size fits all. So we look at every deal, you know, as its own, you know, individual picture. And we lend on cash flow and liquidity instead of just income, which, as I said earlier, is beneficial for business owners and, you know, others in our space. But we also use specialized appraisal groups that focus on new developments and have a better understanding of luxury real estate.
And then really just still touching on the private wealth mortgage, we offer interest-only options, which really helps in allowing for a lower, initial payment, increasing cash flow for clients that's, important for a lot. We offer temporary rate buy downs, which can reduce rates during the early years of the mortgage. Uncapped cash out options, which gives the client freedom to access funds for new opportunities, which is always great. And then a quick close capability that ensures financing is available when it's needed. So that's important. And then just some other key benefits to the private wealth mortgage. The preferred pricing rewards, which we talked about. I mean, our rates are already very competitive, but when you put on the additional discounts that you get for being a private wealth client, we really do tend to beat out most of our competitors. We can close in unique ownership structures and title agreements as far as, all the different complex estates, investment planning needs. We're able to assist there and close how we need. And then really it just offers peace of mind for, high value, multifaceted property ownership. I think we're very familiar with complex, different, out of the box situations. And I think that's what sets us apart in the sense that nothing is too crazy for us. We've really seen it all.
So I guess that's where I pop in. So my name is Adrienne DiGiorgio, and I've actually been with US Bank actually since February of 23, so not all that long, but I have been in private wealth for 40 years this year. And I have a pretty deep knowledge of wealth planning and all different aspects of wealth management. So really what wealth planning is it's a way to put you on a very clear path to your financial future, and we take the emotion out of it. We make sure that you are on pace to meet your goals. So what we do at US Bank is basically we start with planning. So one of the things that Jenifer and Andrea had mentioned is that all of the specialists on our team get together, and that usually starts with a planner whereby we take a look at your entire financial picture, and from there we draw you a roadmap of how to get to where you want to be in the most efficient way possible. Basically, why is wealth planning important? Wealth planning really encompasses many different aspects of one's financial life, and it's not limited to just investments. It's a tool that allows individuals to make really well-informed, non-emotional decisions about their financial life and their future, and it's specific to each person and each family. As you can imagine, a young person in their 30s with twins probably has a very different set of goals than a 60-year-old retired doctor. They're probably more concerned about legacy planning and leaving something for their children. So really, it's all about creating a customized roadmap for our clients, again, so that they can get where they want to be in a very tax efficient manner. And we also take a look at a lot of different things, which we'll see on the next screen. And this is really what I want to focus on. So what is wealth planning? So we take a look at a client's goals. We sit down and we get to know our clients. We get to know them. We get to know their family dynamics. We want to know what keeps them up at night. We want to know what's important to them and what their priorities are. And from there, we'll get a very clear picture of what their goals are. What are their short-term goals? What are their long-term goals? And what I mean by that is, are you planning for a college education? Are you worried about long-term care when you're older? Are you planning to buy a vacation home, or do you want to, make sure that you have enough money in your budget in order to go on annual family vacations? So we take a look at goal setting. And then we look at one's investment strategy. It's not uncommon for people to have assets all over the place. They have something with bank number one, they have something else with brokerage firm number two, and everywhere else in between. And very often people don't know what their overall financial picture looks like. So what we do is we take all of that and we hone it in on one page, so you can see exactly what you have in the way of assets, what your asset ownership is, what your current asset allocation is, and what the risk profile of those investment assets are. And we want to make sure that the investment plan that you currently have aligns with your risk appetite and the financial goals that you're setting for yourself. What we wind up finding is that very often clients are way more aggressive on an overall basis than they thought they were. And it's up to us to, kind of find out, where that stands and how that can be rectified. We also look at retirement planning. Most of us have 401ks or some other type of retirement plan that we're putting money towards. Some of us have pensions. Some of us are also saving outside of those plans. If you want to know if you have if you can look forward to a retirement where you can afford to do the things that you want to do, we do a lot of modeling in that regard. Well, we'll take a look at what your assets are worth now, and based upon your savings rate and based upon what you spend, we'll take a look at what your net worth could potentially be down the road, and do you have enough to retire comfortably? And we take into account inflation in all of our numbers. So we really put everything that we have into this planning. We look at risk management. As I had mentioned, a lot of people don't realize, how their assets all together are put together from a risk profile. But it's not only your investment assets. We also take a look at your protection as far as your life, as far as your kids, as far as your family, as far as your home. Are you in a situation where if you lose your job, do you have sufficient assets that you can carry yourself for, let's say, 6 months? We want to make sure that you are that you have creditor protection on your assets. So if you have rental properties, are they titled properly so that you have creditor protection? We want to make sure that if you have a lot of debt, if something were to happen to you unexpectedly, is your family going to be put in a bad situation because of this debt that has to be paid off? So we take a look at everything to ensure that not only your investment assets, but your family is also well protected. We look at estate planning. It's crazy to me. About 60% of people do not have an estate plan. Now, these are people with children. They are people with, second families. They're people with a significant amount of net worth. It's a lot of people plan. So we also like to review that with our clients. We like to review different strategies to help mitigate estate taxes, because you may not have an estate tax issue now, but down the road, based upon our modeling and forward-looking forecasts, you may have an estate tax issue. And there's a way you can formulate your estate now to take it, to be able to mitigate some of those taxes later. We look at debt management. One of the things that Jenifer and Andrea talked about are our different lending capabilities. Someone might want to take out a loan, but they don't know what the best type of loan to take out is. Should they do a liquid asset secured line of credit? Should they do a 7/1 ARM? Should they do a 30-year mortgage? These are all things that we can model out, and on a longer term, on a short, medium, and longer term basis, we can help you determine which one of those lending options is best for you. And the other thing that we do is that, these plans that we run for our clients, it's not just me putting it together. So I will speak to someone, gather all of this information, and put a plan together. But before we even think about talking to our clients, we bring in all of our specialists. So we'll bring in our estate planning specialist. We'll bring in our private banker. We'll bring in the portfolio manager. We'll bring in our insurance consultant. And all of us will take a look at this plan and what I've put together, and we'll all look at it from our own different set of eyes, so that when we make recommendations to a client on how they may be able to improve their plan or fill in some gaps that we've discovered, that there's a lot of different people looking at it. We bring the best value to our clients. We also take a look at charitable giving. As you can imagine, there's a lot of wealthy people, and they like to mitigate their current taxes, but also estate taxes. And charitable planning is also a very big part of what we do. Next page, please.
Yeah, really quick, I had
Yes.
one question come up. It sounds like you guys will be advisors for all of this. Does that mean you have attorneys in-house that will help do the trusts, or is that still something that is building your team outside of this private wealth management?
Sure. All of our specialists are in-house. So the person who is our trust and estate specialist, for instance, he is an estate attorney by education, and he had his own practice. But right now he works for US Bank as a consultant. So he does not practice, he does not practice law here. But what we can do is we can review your situation with you. We can come up with strategies with you. We can review your existing documents to maybe find places where your estate plan can be improved. And then very often he'll get on the phone with the client or the client and the attorney and all talk together to make sure that what we're reviewing with you is communicated properly to your attorney, and you can all kind of collaborate together. So our estate planning specialist is really here to generate thoughts, ideas, and strategies for our clients before they go to their attorney and start bringing up the bills. That's what we do. Any additional questions at the moment?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So then what can one expect in an estate plan? As you can imagine, you get a summary of all of the inputs. You get a summary of everything that we went over. In addition to that, what I'll do is I'll run Monte Carlo simulations. So we run 1,000 different Monte Carlo simulations using all different types of returns in the market, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll run 1,000 different iterations of that. And based upon what your inputs are and what your goals are, we will give you a probability of success that you will not outlive your money. So, this runs the gamut. So there's, we have people with $1 million, we have people with $50 million, and it's amazing to me how everybody spends what they have. So we'll let you know whether or not you are within a comfort zone of achieving your goals at the end of your plan. And we can do side-by-side comparisons also when I put in different models. So, people may be willing to save more, or maybe they want to spend more, or maybe they want to buy a house in 10 years. Maybe if they can't afford it in 10 years, maybe in 20 years. I'll model all these things out, and you can see how each one of these things affects your probability of success, of living your life the way you want to throughout your whole life. So here we go. So the outputs. We do a detailed cash flow analysis. We can do a short term, we can do a long term, and we can customize that. We also do a detailed net worth growth over time. So a lot of people want to know, well, what does that look like with my expenses and my portfolio growth and my contributions? What does that look like? So we can actually show you year by year, based upon how you're invested, what the growth over time looks like. And we can show that to you based upon different investment strategies. We take a look at your tax implications. So again, there are some people who have tax advantage securities. There are some people that don't have tax advantage securities. There are some people who are putting away money in retirement accounts. So all of that growth is tax deferred. And then there are people who are putting all of their money outside of tax deferred accounts. So we take a look at the tax implications of everything. We'll look at insurance analysis. One of the things that we like to offer here is an insurance audit. So many of us have life insurance policies that we've had for a very long time, but a life insurance policy is in fact an investment, and it should be reviewed or audited at least every 5 years. So we like to offer that to our clients. We look at the different debt payment options, probability of success, which we've already talked about. We like to give everyone a family tree and an estate flow chart, just because, and seeing pictures is worth 1,000 words. It's a very easy way to see exactly how your assets will flow at some point. And we'll make, like I said, observations and additional considerations for an estate plan. And finally, and most importantly, is that it's not a one and done, right? Your wealth plan is a living document, and it's always changing because you are changing. So as life goes on, as children are born, as kids go to school, and as you retire, we update these plans on a regular basis to always ensure that you are moving in the direction that you want to go in a very comfortable way. And we can even do stress testing on these plans. We'll say, well, what happens if we go into a recession for 3 or 4 years? I can model that out as well. So it tends to give people a measure of comfort when the markets are volatile, as they've been for the last week or so. It gives people a sense of stability and calmness when we have turmoil in the markets. And that's really what we want to give to our clients, right? We want to make our clients feel comfortable. We want them to know that we hear them and that we're watching out for them.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate that. As I wrap things up here, if you have any last second questions, feel free to put them in the questions here, in the question box here. Thanks everyone for joining us and for your thoughtful questions so far. To continue the conversation, Tavola offers a free complimentary consultation for tax planning, whether you're a business owner, high net worth individual, or a real estate investor. We'd like to dive into your facts and circumstances, meet you where you're at to uncover tax efficient strategies, optimize lending options, and plan for growth. There's no cost, no pressure, just guidance to put your wealth to work. You can schedule your session through the link in the follow-up email or reach out to us directly here at Tavola. This webinar is recorded and it will be available soon for your review. We'll email that out to you, and it'll also be available on our website within the next 2 days. On behalf of Tavola Group and the entire team, thank you for joining us. We look forward to helping you maximize your financial flexibility. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Thank you for US Bank for allowing you to jump on the webinar and give your input and share all the information.